I'm 63 years old, and it took me 32 years to understand something about money that nobody explained clearly when I was in my 20s. Not my professors, not my friends, not the financial news, not even the successful people I admired. If I had understood this at 30 instead of 62, my life would look very different. And the frustrating part? It isn't complicated. It isn't secret. It isn't a stock tip. It's a shift in how you see money itself. If you're building your career in New York, Chicago, London, Toronto, or anywhere in between, this will save you decades. Because most people waste their most powerful financial years chasing the wrong target. Let me tell you what I got wrong. In my early 30s, I thought income was the game. Higher salary meant progress. Bigger bonus meant success. Promotion meant wealth. And I chased income aggressively. When I lived in Boston in my 30s, I changed jobs for a 15% raise. When I moved to Dallas in my 40s, I negotiated hard for higher compensation. When I consulted briefly in London, I focused almost entirely on rate increases. And for a while, it worked. My income rose steadily. But something strange was happening. My net worth wasn't rising at the same speed. That disconnect took me years to fully understand. The lesson I eventually learned is this: income does not create wealth. Behavior creates wealth. Income amplifies behavior. If your behavior is undisciplined, higher income accelerates instability. If your behavior is structured, higher income accelerates freedom. Nobody explains it that directly. You can earn six figures in Los Angeles or Toronto and still be financially fragile. You can earn a moderate income in Ohio or Manchester and quietly build resilience. The difference is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not geography. It is the operating system you run with money. And it took me 3 decades to build the right one. Here's what I misunderstood early. I thought wealth was built by finding the right investments, the right stock, the right real estate deal, the right opportunity. So I focused heavily on selection. I read financial publications, followed market commentators, listened to predictions, watched the S&P move daily, tracked interest rate discussions from the Federal Reserve. I thought being informed would make me wealthy. What I didn't understand is this: information does not build wealth. Consistency does. The wealthy people I eventually studied, from long-term investors in Omaha to disciplined portfolio managers in New York, were not constantly chasing the next big thing. They were repeating a simple structure relentlessly. Save first. Invest regularly. Control costs. Avoid catastrophic mistakes. Be patient. That sounds boring. But boring compounds. Excitement resets. Let me explain something that changed everything for me. In my 40s, I ran the numbers honestly for the first time. Not just income, not just returns, behavior, savings rate, burn rate, investment consistency. And I saw something uncomfortable. My savings rate was inconsistent. My investing was irregular. My spending rose almost perfectly with my income. Lifestyle expanded automatically. Freedom did not. That was the moment I realized I had built a high-income life, not a wealth-building system. There's a difference. A high-income life depends on continued performance. A wealth-building system produces margin. Margin produces options. Options produce leverage. Leverage produces freedom. That chain is everything. Let me make this concrete. Imagine 2 35-year-olds, one working in Chicago, one working in London. Both earn strong salaries. One increases lifestyle every time income rises. The other increases investment contributions every time income rises. After 15 years, their lives look radically different, even if their income histories were similar. The difference is not market timing. It is behavioral structure. It took me 32 years to understand that the real game is not maximizing income. It is maximizing retained capital and time in the market. And here is the deeper truth. Time is more important than return. People obsess over whether they can earn 8% or 12%. What matters more is how long you stay invested consistently. The person who invests steadily for 30 years at reasonable returns often beats the person who jumps in and out chasing higher returns. I learned this the hard way. There were periods, especially during volatile markets, when I reduced exposure out of fear. I told myself I was being cautious. What I was really doing was interrupting compounding. Compounding is fragile when interrupted. It rewards stability more than brilliance. If you look at long-term investors in the US, people who built wealth over decades, the common thread isn't genius stock picking. It's duration. Duration plus discipline. Another lesson that took me decades. Financial stress is not caused by low income alone. It is caused by low margin. You can earn a strong salary in San Francisco and feel trapped if your fixed costs consume everything. You can earn less in a lower-cost city and feel calm if your burn rate is controlled. Margin is psychological power. Margin allows you to say no. No to bad jobs. No to weak contracts. No to overpriced assets. No to emotional purchases. The power to say no is one of the most underestimated financial advantages. I didn't have that power in my 30s, even when my income was rising, because my structure wasn't built yet. And here's the most painful realization. The most powerful compounding years of your life are not your 50s. They're your 30s and 40s. The earlier you lock in a disciplined system, the less you need to rely on extraordinary returns later. If you are in your 20s or 30s right now, in New York, Toronto, London, or anywhere, understand this. Your biggest advantage is not knowledge. It's time. And time only works if behavior is consistent. So what is the lesson it took me 32 years to learn? Money is not about earning more. It is about keeping more of what you earn working longer than you think is necessary. It is about designing a system that runs even when your motivation drops. It is about avoiding catastrophic mistakes more than finding spectacular wins. It is about boring consistency over emotional intensity. And it is about understanding that wealth is built quietly long before it becomes visible. I wasted years thinking the breakthrough would come from a single smart move. It came from small, disciplined moves repeated for years. If you want to shorten your learning curve, focus on this. Increase your savings rate before increasing your lifestyle. Automate investing before chasing returns. Build reserves before taking risk. Avoid leverage you cannot survive. Stay invested longer than feels comfortable. And measure progress by net worth growth, not visible upgrades. Because by the time wealth looks impressive on the outside, the real work has already been done internally for decades. If I could speak to my 31-year-old self in Boston or my 40-year-old self in Dallas, I wouldn't give him a stock tip. I would give him a system. And that system would have saved him 32 years of trial and error. Don't waste yours.